Okay, so last session we learned about how to deal with the drop down. So in Bootstrap components, we learned about how to use drop down. Drop down have options already. I given you some classes. When we design drop down, some more options are there. Like, so when you are defining a drop down menu and with the items inside the drop down, so we also have like we can keep a div and we can put a class as a drop down. We have a divider. Usually this drop down divider is used for splitting the contents. Under that drop down divider, I can add another div and a class. So drop down item, and in that we have some option like help. So drop down divider is nothing but it is used for creating a split like this. That means categories when you are displaying categories. And these options can be links. So here you can add a anchor and href is equal to hash. And you can give any reference and that link will be displayed there. Link appearance, link colors, everything you can change. So usually, as I told you, this is used for navigation. For creating and configuring the navigation, we use these options in the drop down. So in the drop downs, these all options are available. In the classroom notes, we have all of them. So classes with example I given there. Next important after drop down, now we can design a example with drop down and accordion. As I told you, accordion will have expand collapse options. For example, let's see, suppose we want to design something like this page. So netflix.in. So we want to design this page. So this is the page. Now how we can design this page, the background and configuration. Already we done in the beginning itself. Now one more additional thing is appearance of buttons, drop downs, forms. We can keep it in a correct way. So let's see how we can do that. So the content, for example, you have this banners, right side drop down options with symbol and icon. So let's see how we can create this. So I'm adding a new file. So netflix.html. First few basic techniques already we learned. So doc type HTML head title. So Netflix home. In the link, we will define relation is equal to style sheet. And href is node modules, bootstrap, dist, bootstrap CSS. Another link relation is equal to style sheet, href. This is bootstrap icons, bootstrap icon font, bootstrap icon CSS. And in the body, we will put script. Source is node modules, jQuery, dist, jQuery JS. And one more script source. So node modules, bootstrap, dist.js, bootstrap bundle.js. Remember, when people are using bootstrap, actually bootstrap have lot of jQuery files. People who don't know about that, they come and ask, like somebody of your class previously asked, sir, in bootstrap there is popper.js. There are so many, alert.js, popper.js, all are included in one file now. We are using everything integrated into one file. People who don't know about that, generally they have an idea of alert.js. When they are using alerts, separate alert JavaScript file. When they are using some other component, separate JS files will be there. We don't need that. So we have one bundle.js. You see, in the node modules, so bootstrap, the JS, dist.js, bootstrap bundle. When you look at this bundle file, this bundle is having, so a lot of code is there. Actually, this bundle is having combination of all files. That means all files code is integrated into one location actually. Generally, files are present separately. You see, we have separate JavaScript files like alert.js. This alert.js is only for alert. It has 200 lines. And button.js, it is only for buttons. It has some 140 lines. These all integrated into one file called bundle. That is approximately 6,000, 7,000 lines are there. That means we don't need to individually link these files. If you link this bundle, it will get all the files. That is the reason we are not using these files individually. We are using the files as a bundle. So this one file is enough to handle any component in Bootstrap, any component. So that is done. Now, first step, we know how we can set the background. So we need to set the background of that image. So in the Netflix, we need to achieve this background image. You know already how to do that. So body, for body, we are giving background image. So style, na? Right. We'll put a style and body in that background image. URL is, it is from images Netflix back.png, some file. Now it will put the background image for the page. Let's open this. So this is the background image for the page. And this is the actual size of our page. We need to zoom it. So suppose we can set background size. Background size, we can just put contain. So contain will fit so the content correctly here. So we have just put contain. Contain, where is the background? Cover. Okay. So size, we need to keep the background size correctly. That cover will fit it correct 100%. But it is dominating. We don't want it to dominate. So you know the technique how to do it. If you don't want to dominate in the body section, we have to define a div. And for this div ID, I will just give as ID or class. I say back color. Back color is the class. And we will use back color. And for this width is 100%. And height also some 100%. But we don't have any content there. We are just giving according to the content. how much content is there, it will be accordingly. Suppose I want pixels, then we can say 700 pixel. And background color, we are using a background color. To make it transparent, already we learned we have to use RGBA. So red is 0, green 0, blue 0, that will be black, and 0.5 the transparency of black color. That will keep the background color in this way. The background color, background image will be there, but it will not dominate. We can put the background in this way. Okay. Now after defining the background color, now here we need to put some content. At the top, first what we need, so we need some options like this. At the top we need this headers. So we can put instead of background color, you remembered already we learned, so we can use background image. Background image, we can use radial gradient. Radial gradient, radial gradient, we are using black and white combination. Radial gradient, and black and white radial gradient will come like this. So you can keep a combination like this. So white and black. So radial gradient will be like this. And we need to set transparency na, white transparency and black transparency. Then what we have to do, instead of white, we can use RGBA. And here we can define the color. For white, what we have to do, 255, 255, 255, maximum 255 for white color. And transparency, I defined 0.5. That is the white transparency, it will set like this. It will set like this. Then black also same. So what we have to do, RGBA, and it is 0, 0, 0, that is black, and 0.5, that is the transparency of black. Then it will keep like this. That means in the center it is white, outside it is black. We can increase the transparency here 0.9. That means it will be more blacker like this. So transparency, depending on your requirement, you can define. So that means here I defined some 0.7, and you can see the white transparency will come like this. We can use combinations, or you can put a solid color and transparent. So these techniques already we learned, but for applying radial gradient, we have to use, we need to use this radial gradient with background image. If I want a solid color, then the previous one, what we have to do, background color and RGBA 0, 0, 0 and 0.5. That will keep the content in this way. This is enough. Now what we need to do, we need to put the headers, body and everything. So let's design the components now. So inside this, first we need to create the header component. I am writing here header. I am writing header. That means inside that transparency here we are defining header. Header should contain some Netflix left side. Then we will keep here a div, and right side buttons. That means we will give two groups here. One group, one div for left, another div for right. You know how to arrange side by side. One towards left, another towards right. Then you have to make it in two groups. In a container, you need to keep them in two groups. And in the left group, what we have done, suppose I am giving roughly here Netflix, and right side I'm adding button, and we need a drop down. We need a button and drop down to design here. So how do we design bootstrap drop down? To design bootstrap drop down, we need another div. So we learned the option class. What is it? Drop down, class drop down. And here we need to define the options, another div. And here we need a button above. What is the button? This button will have a span. It will have a span, and the class is equal to bi and bi globe. And here we will use this button as a class as drop down toggle. That is the toggle button to on and off. And here we will write an option language, and that is one button we are having drop down. And here we need a drop down menu. So what is the class? Drop down menu. This drop down menu should open and close. Then which option we have to apply? Collapse. So that is the collapse option configured. And inside this we need to create another div. So this is class what? Drop down item. And the drop down item, here we will put a span. Here we will write some English, and that is one item. And we will copy another drop down item. Here I will define some other language. And for the language I told you, so we can go with translate, right? So let's open Google Translate. So here we will use Google Translate. And in the Google Translate, here we are defining the text. This is English, and to Hindi I defined Hindi, and it will get it. We will copy the text and we will paste the text here. That is the second option we have in the drop down. So just copy and paste the translated. So now we have a drop down, and this button will have option like sign in. This is having a class btn and btn danger. So you can see the design of this will be now like this. So it will be in this way. Now the point is we need one text also there, like Netflix is there. That is the logo. We need to configure the logo here. This is the logo. I will say class as temporarily class as title. And here I will apply the style dot title. I will just use font size as some 30 and color as red. Just I am using the font size and color. So some 35. Okay, that is just the banner we have defined. Now we need, see, for font effects options you can apply various. Already I told you borders, backgrounds, shadings, anything you can apply. How we can change the font here? We also have text shadow, right? Text shadow I defined as 2 pixel, 2 pixel, 3 pixel. Suppose white as text shadow, then it will put shadow for the text. So font style, if you want, you can change font face, font family. some font family Arial. We are changing the font family for that. And we are using font weight. Font weight is bold. So we are keeping that font weight bold. That depends on our appearance, styles and all. Suppose if I want, so like a banner style, then what we can do is we can add some stretch skew effects. You learned about CSS skewing. Skewing means tilting x-axis, tilting y-axis. We can apply for that. Okay, this is just basic I configured there. Just a small appearance I given here. Now we need this side by side arranged. Then what to do? I hope you can tell now. Both are present in header. Na? Then what we have to do? Bootstrap. Bootstrap options. What we have to do? We have to apply the class dflex. Dflex will keep them flexible side by side. And one more option, we have to use justify content between. Justify content between will keep the content left and right. Justify content between. So left and right. Another I will give as padding as 3 or 2 or 3. That means some space will come around. But the drop down and the sign in button, drop down and sign in button should be side by side. You know the concept for that. How you can keep this drop down and sign in side by side. This is the div we are having. So in that, what we will do is I will cut it and I will create another div. So for this div, I am giving a class. Here I am giving the class as D inline. What will happen? D inline means it will display inline. But to display inline, so these two containers require so many options. Suppose if I give dflex for this, display flex for this, then it will be side by side. Because D inline, what we have to do, give for both divs. One div inline, another div also inline. Both divs are present in one container. Then for that container, we can use as dflex. And very important, we want some space for drop down. I am giving margin E2. Margin E2 right side space will come. So some right space will be displayed for that. We are keeping some right space. But for this button appearance, we have to change. So for button, we are giving button toggle. So instead of using button toggle, suppose I given BTN and BTN dark, something like this. Then the button appearance will be in this way. But toggle button I am giving. So what is it? Drop down toggle. Drop down toggle will display like a menu. That will have a correct height and width equally. Now when I click on this language, then it should get those options and display. Then we have to use one more option. What is it? For the button click, we need to open that option. Then what options? Data, BS, toggle. Which one to toggle? Drop down to toggle. That option we need to configure. Now, very important here that toggle will display these options so that user can choose. So this is ready here. So this is ready here. Selection is not working because it's not yet functional, because we haven't created any link or anything. We just created only menu. Actually, what we do when user selects English, it will open the English page. When user selects Hindi, it will open Hindi page. That means these will be defined as links. When user clicks them, automatically it will navigate to that location. Actually, for drop down items, when you define, you can use a word here. You can use an option active. Active. Actually, this active is nothing but in the drop down, it makes it highlighted like that. By default, it will make it highlighted like that. We have two options, active and disabled. Classes are there. So remember these classes. So here, make a note below the drop down, just like the items in drop down. The items in drop down can be defined can be defined active or disabled. Active or disabled. So by using the classes, we have the classes active and we have disabled. These are the classes we have. So when you are creating a drop down item, so here we can add extra class active. That means that item will be highlighted. We have to create navigation to transport to that location. One more option is that disabled. That keeps the option disabled. So this is the drop down. Now, currently, this we have created. And when user selects, it is not selecting because functionality is not yet there. Because we have to design two pages. One for Hindi, another for English. We have, when user selects, we need to display. Actually, currently what we can do temporarily, see, suppose when user selects this, I will put an anchor and here I will put an href. I will navigate to some page called forms HTML. Then usually what happens when user clicks on that and he selects this, you know, link colors and all we have to change. I will change that active link, remove that active. That means link will come with this effect. And when I click on this, automatically it navigates to that location. Actually, we don't navigate to some other location. Same screen will come, but Hindi content will be there. English content will be there. Such multilingual pages, so with different languages translates. For that, we need to learn so many other techniques also. Initially, we are just designing it. We are just designing this. Now, the design for header is ready. Now we need content below the header. Now let's go. Header is done. And below the header, we created a section. In the section, we need to put some content in this way. This unlimited movies, TV, and more. Watch anywhere, cancel anywhere. We need to design this under it. So here we are creating a div in the section. And here we can define different font sizes and all. I will just put a simple paragraph here. So, and this content, unlimited movies and all. And here I will give the class. So as main title, that is the class. And below that, I will put another paragraph. So main subtitle. In the main subtitle, I will keep this one. Watch anywhere, anytime, that I am defining. That content we are configuring. Okay. Now here, in this first, let's go to the design. The content is here, but it is present somewhere here. Now we need the alignments to define. For the body, I given color as a white. That means entire body color is set to white. Now, I want that content correctly center on page. You know what to do. So if I want that content correctly center on page, then you have to write. So here through Bootstrap, we will apply. What is it? Class. What are the classes we need to apply? D flex. We have to use justify content center. We need to use align items center. Align items center. And it needs some height. So style height, I will give as some 500 pixels. And this will keep the content in the center. In the center. Text alignment also I want center. Text alignment I want center, then we can keep text center. Text center is the class that will keep the text alignment center. Now we need, so this main title, so here we will define the class main title. Main title font family Arial and font size some 60 and the font weight as bold. Like this I define. That will be appearance like this. That is the appearance for the content. And so we have another main subtitle. So font family is Arial and font size is some 30 pixel. So, and I will keep it normal. Then it will be like this. Now we need to adjust the width of this content. Then main title, suppose I defined width as suppose 300 pixel. Width 300 pixel, it will be like this. So we will adjust here as suppose, so width as some 50%. Width 50%, it will keep like this. Percentage will adjust according to the browser. Suppose we want to keep it center here. So 300 pixel, it will be like this. Suppose I defined some 500 pixel. So it will be in this way. Because maximum width is 1200 pixel. Suppose I given 600 pixel, it will be in this way. Because our maximum size is 600 pixel. So here I want little bit size to adjust to 50 pixels. Then it will be in this way. We are configuring the font and defining the font. Now this is the content that we have in the center. Now just below this, what we need to do, below this we need a registration form. Depending on height, width, it will go up and down. So how much height you given for section? For section, we given the height here as for section I given 500 pixel, 400 pixel. Then according to that, it moves up and down. So that is the content we are displaying. So you have the navigation bar, this one, and the sign in button and this. And we need a registration form below. Registration form below to design. So how you can keep this now? Now what we have to do is under this content only, under the main title and subtitle div in that container itself, below this we are creating another div. And first we put a paragraph here. Here in the paragraph, we want this sentence, ready to watch, enter your email, create and define. Okay. This I kept there and you can see in our design, it will be like this. That means ready to watch, some option is there. So we can apply the font size for that. So here I will put a class called register title. Register title. here we are giving register title. Register title, so font size as some 20 pixel. So that means it will increase the font size a little bit large. Now below this, we want the registration area. We want the registration area to define below this. Then what we have to do is, so below that, the registration area, we need to create another div. And in this div, we are defining option like input type is equal to email. Placeholder is your email address. Email address. And beside it, we have a button. And in that, we have a span. So class, we have BI. And BI, we have chevron. Chevron right. Chevron right. Chevron right. And we give a text here, get started. Get started. And this button is having a class called BTN and BTN danger. And these two are defined in a class called input group, and input group LG for large. Input group LG large. That means it will get the appearance in this way. Now important is width and options to assign. Actually, for the email, we will have a class called, what is the class? Form control. I haven't given that form control. Then it will give the appearance in this way. So that means we have the button and the email and combined like this. And the chevron I will give after this. Chevron will be like this. It will display in this. Size depends on the requirement. Suppose I given as BTN LG means button large. So button size will be there. Already we given here as input group LG. That's defines. If you want, you can adjust the height individually. That means the control heights, if you want, you can adjust. But the maximum size is defined to LG. That is the size. Now this is the content we are having. Content. This Netflix logo is their logo. They will put some picture there, some image, some designed in Photoshop and all. Because if you want to achieve exactly in that way, you need to copy their images and you need to use these images. Actually, that is that type of designs are done in Photoshop. So in Photoshop, what you can do is you can stretch, you can skew the images and you can display them. For example, temporarily, suppose I will Google here Netflix banner. So this is the Netflix banner image. Now we need actually transparent image. For Netflix banner, we need a transparent image. This is Netflix banner. Now I will copy this image, save image. So banner, and we will keep that there. That means inside this area here, instead of this, we are giving an image source is equal to images. So banner.png. So the banner.png and close. Yeah. And we need to adjust the width and height for that. Width and height for that banner. So to configure the width and height, so width is equal to some 150 pixel, 150, and height is equal to some 60. The width and height is adjusted in this way. But actually, you see the background color is black, right? That is because we copied from some location that is having background. We need to take a transparent one. We need to keep there, that will be better, right? So you can use, instead of this, you can use general option. See, I am giving just like Netflix, or you remembered I given, means individually you can write like this: font color is equal to red, and suppose size is equal to, suppose this is 6 7, and I given as n. And means we are configuring in this way. So all the options I defined as Netflix ix, like this. And so size here I defined this is 6 and this is 6. Like this I added the font size for that, and its appearance will be like this. I will remove the main title, the font family and all. This is not, that is title. Okay, for title I am removing this class temporarily, so that the shadows and all not defined according to our specifications. So here we have 6 like this, and it will appearance will be like this. So we can add our own effects, we can configure and define them. So just roughly I configured these options. Now after this, now we need these in the below this, the section. Now we need to design this part, images. So here you can put a standard photo, because how to create like changing images, sliding images, I will show you in the next level. We will learn about that. Carousels we will be there, we can use that. Then you can implement this option. Now we can implement this. To implement that, actually we need ready-made effects, so some options, so such animations we can create. But already we learned how to keep content left and right. So we can use float right and float left. Creating such sliding banners, I will tell you. So you can design this part, no need to explain that. This part we already done. Now this part you can design. Now how about this accordion? This accordion, so yesterday we learned na, right? Below that you can design those screens. So in the section, so we remove that now here, and here I am creating some main content. And in the main content, suppose I am giving some options. So here how you can create the accordion like div. Yesterday we learned some options. What is the class we need to apply? We need to apply the class called accordion. We need to give accordion. Accordion should have an id. id I will give as FAQs. Okay. Next, below this, now accordion. So how to design accordion related items? Yesterday we already done. I will save the time, I will copy this. Just you need these options. So accordion item, accordion header, and all this. Yeah, let me copy this. These are all accordion items. Fine. I will copy the same just for time saving, because already we know the concept. Just here we need to do some changes. In the header, these are FAQs now, some frequently asked questions. Then what we will do here, I will write the question something like what they have, what is Netflix? That is the question. So what is Netflix? That is the question. Under that some answer may be there, right? Another question. So here another question is How much does Netflix cost? I will write that. So how much does Netflix cost? Netflix cost. Okay. And one more question is where can I watch? Yeah. So here another question. Where can I watch? Okay. Next. How do I cancel? Okay, this is enough. You can add some more. But this I copied from yesterday's location and I kept everything in the main. So that's the reason that appearance will be like this now. I will turn everything into black. I will turn everything into black. That means what we have to do in this way. So then what we can do is for this main, I will put a style and the width I will give as some 600 pixels. Okay. That is 600 pixels width for the content and it will display like this. And important is in the main, everything is kept. We'll do one thing. So for that, we will just put the center. So class is what? Deflex, justify content center, and align items center. All this accordion, let's copy that. The entire accordion I will remove and I will keep in a div. In the div accordion, that will keep the content in the center correctly. So we will add one more option now. So what we need to do is I will keep this first accordion item also. I will not use show. And the colors we will change. So BTN and BTN dark. I will use this BTN dark as color for the toggle button. BTN dark. Okay. So BTN dark. So that is the dark button applied here like this. Now you have this. So dark button applied for that and the content is there. Now, very important, these are actually options. Now, how do we adjust the width and height for them? Content to be defined, width and height. Actually, that is kept inside this div. For that, we can give a style width, suppose 600 pixels. Like this, we can adjust the width. Then it will display like this. We can add more. Suppose I given as 700 pixels, then it will display in this way. Now only the difference is, so here actually everything text align. So in the content, suppose text, suppose say start. Actually text start. So we will keep that content from left side aligned into the. Now in this button also we need to add some options. Actually in this button one problem is, already I told you, they are not using Bootstrap, but we are trying Bootstrap. Some space we will adjust between these items. How we can apply? Every accordion item is there. For every accordion item, we will give margin bottom 2 or 3. That means accordion item, some space will come. So every accordion item, margin bottom as 3. So it will get that. And accordion item, so margin bottom as 3. That means there will be some space between these accordion. There will be some space between them. But actually they have a plus mark. Na? So the content is white. You can change the color. So suppose here we are giving the accordion body. This is accordion body. What we will do for this paragraph, accordion body, BG I will give as dark and the text we will give as white. That means, so when user clicks on that, it will display in this way. Black and white combination will be displayed like this. So that means the same option I will use for all of them. So the body, accordion body, I am using this. And above also accordion body, we have this color so that we can see the content now. I click on Netflix, it will display. I click on what's the cost, then it will display. But why all are expanding? So they have to expand and collapse different now. So because data parent is FAQ now, I changed it. Actually, all these data parent is I copied from previous. So it is what? FAQ. It is FAQ. And all database parent will be FAQ. Because I changed it to FAQ, I will just give FAQ. Data parent is FAQ. Now it will be fine. Now I click on Netflix, it will display the content. And I click on this and it will show only one out of these three. And only the point is they are using here right side a plus mark for expanding. So that is done later. So because here we don't have that. We have a close button and we don't have bootstrap buttons like that. What we can do is now we have to keep our own button. See, this is button. This entire button contains that information. So what generally they can do is, see, this entire button is having how much Netflix should happen. Actually, what they do is in the accordion header, remove this heading and keep it in a div. So you keep it in a div here. And this button, you keep it in another div here. You keep it in another div here. Suppose I am giving a span. So class, so here BI. So BI, suppose we have like plus. So we have plus large. That is the icon we have defined. That means it will display like this now. The plus symbol will come. But we want side by side to arrange. We will use, suppose I am giving D flex and justify content. We are using between. Justify content between. Then it will give plus mark right side. It will give the plus mark right side. You see there is a plus mark right side. And you know how to change the background of this header now. Entire background header must be changed to BG dark. Background header should be changed to black. Now you can see plus mark will come. And you can add some padding and other options because these two are kept in separate container. So what we have to do, suppose I am adding P2, means we need to first arrange everything in a correct order. Now see what happens when I click on this plus mark, then it will expand. The plus mark will expand. That means we are not giving a separate icon for that. Actually, previously we have to click on this button. But now we can click on this plus mark, it will expand and show. For that, what we have done, the same approach here. So that means we created a same appearance we need to give for others. That means how we can do in the header section, I need to remove this text and put it in a div. We need to keep that in a div. Okay. And I need to remove this button. I need to put this in another div. And here we will use a span. So what is it? Class BI and BI plus large. We have BI plus large. Font size and all we can increase if we want. And important is for this header section, we are giving the BG dark, display flex, justify content between, and padding 3. And when we apply that, the same effect will be applied for both of them. That means the second one also will have the same plus mark right side. That's what actually Netflix is doing. But Bootstrap don't have such things ready-made. I told you Netflix is using React. In that they have ready-made like that. That means you apply accordion buttons, they have ready-made appearance like that. So for that, now we need to use our CSS technique and implement that. Now the same thing you need to do the above one also. So remove this heading and keep in a div, and remove this button and keep in another div, and keep this with a span as class BI and BI LG plus LG. And here we have to use BG dark, display flex, justify content between, and padding 3. And that will get the appearance in this way now. Now I click on how much Netflix cost, then it will expand. I click on what is Netflix, this will collapse that and display. I click on where I can watch, then it will display that information. This is the accordion style we are displaying for that. And remember, I just designed it between some more options are there. Between some more blocks are there. That means between that, this is the main content I designed. And between section and main, you can put another container, right? You can put another container. So here I will put class banners. So for the class banners, you can define some content between. As of now, I am temporarily giving here. So for class banner, I will write like this: dot banners. Banners is the class. In the banners class, we are defining a height as suppose 200 pixel. So, and background color is black. You can keep it a little bit transparent. Now it will come in this way. You need here RGBA. So, and this is the colors combination, same 0, 0, 0, and here 0.7 something, and little bit darker now. And here we need the width as some 90%. 90% of the browser will come. We can adjust the alignments, or we can define like this. We can add margin as suppose 100 pixel, and it will have all the direction margin 100 pixel. I will keep just suppose margin 20 pixel. It will be in this way now. In that you have to put your content. General content you need to configure, and this content means this you have to design, right? This you have to design. Actually for that they don't need the margin, they given a solid color. That means it's not having background any transparency. Then you can just give so 1. That means it will have a solid black color there. And you can adjust the margin. Here is 0 pixel. So that means there is no margin defined. And we can have border top. Border top I defined as some gray color. So, and size is some 20 pixels, and solid. That is the option I defined, border top. And it will display border top in that way. So I am configuring some 10 pixel, then it will be like this. And we can also have border bottom. Border bottom is same gray 10 pixel solid. And margin bottom I defined as some 20 pixels, and it will have some space below. And inside this, you need to keep the content left and right. All such information you need to enable. Actually, what they have done is, so suppose for this height, I given as 600 pixels. Everything comes in this way. Under that, you can keep several banners, left, right, and all the banners you need to keep. That you try. So you try the rest of the concept between. And you can try one more option now. Between content, you try. And the footer also you can try. And now this registration form already there. That means what you have to do is you have to just copy that and use it here. The same code you have to do. Now, how we can reuse the components? For that, we need to learn some techniques in later programming. That means one component is designed, how we can reuse the component instead of rewriting the component. If you remembered, I told you about frames, iframes. What we can do is we can design an iframe and we can embed a component. Actually, this register component, how we design this register component, we design directly here. But what we do, we can design it in a separate page and we can embed wherever we want. That makes reusability. For that, what we have to do, we have to put an iframe here. Those techniques I will tell you later. But this you must able to try. So already we done everything. Just one additional thing is you design the footer. You configure the footer. You see, these people have up to this, and from there rest of everything is black. That means they are not having image. That means usually what we can do is, so we want up to this normal and everything rest of that will be black. Then usually what you can do here, all this container, whatever you designed, you see this is the banners container. The main content, so what is the main content we designed? We remove the main content. I kept inside the banners. The main content is kept inside the banners. So where now here it looks like this. Now this is the main content and rest of other options. Now main, I need to shift a little bit down. Then you can do that here. What we have to do, we need to keep a margin top some 4 pixels, 4%, it will be down. Now we have that appearance similar to that. That means up to this part, it will have a background image and rest everything will be black. Now you can add your other contents here. That means now what you have to do, in between you can add the banners and you can configure them. And we need to do 2 things now. What are those 2 things? Actually, these colors are very light. That is not an issue. You can do now. So this color you can mix lighter. Okay. This color also you mix lighter. So then it will get that light color for the content here. You can keep it transparent also. So by adding alpha, you can keep it transparent also. That means 0.6 and 0.6 like this. That will make little bit transparent of that color. That is how we need to design. Now, 2 parts are there. So the part is this with content left and right. These things you can try. You put a standard image. And you design. Footer also same. No need to explain that. Footer also similar. Actually, reusability means I will show you the point. Later you can try, not now. But see, suppose this we want again. Somewhere bottom, again I want it. Again I want it. Then generally what we do is, in real development process, what we do is actually copy this area. Where is that register area? This is the register form, right? Enter your email. This is the div we are having, right? I will remove it. I will remove that part here. That means which we have configured. I will keep an empty div there. That means what we do is we create a separate form. So Netflix register .html. Netflix register.html. Here we create that area content. We design that content here. But remember, we will have issues with bootstrap and all. How to resolve it, that we will learn in the next levels. So what we do, we design it separately. After designing it separately, how to embed that below? We need to embed it below. To embed it below, what we have to do? We will go to the Netflix page. Here I can use an iframe, and here I can put an source. Iframe source is nothing but it is which one? Netflix register.html. That is the iframe source we have defined, and that we have to put there. But see the problem. The problem is it is not having the bootstrap. Bootstraps are not configured and defined, but we have that content there. Bootstrap is not there. So why? Because this is a separate page. That is what you are going to learn in a concept called jQuery. By using jQuery, what you can do is, through Ajax call, you can call the content of another page and render here. What is advantage of that? Without losing those styles you can get. Actually, those styles you can get if you put the page here. See, now I am writing here same effects, means these two links and all these effects are included in the same page. They are included in the same page. Then you can get such effects. Suppose actually I am using just bootstrap. In Netflix register also, suppose we have these bootstrap files linked. Usually in the appearance it will look like this. And some more options you need, like width, height, background colors, everything you need to change. That is the reason this is not right time to discuss. Why? Because for that we need to learn about JavaScript and jQuery to understand a concept called web components. What is the concept of web components is, we can design one component and we can reuse across pages. Wherever you want, just integrate it through a logic. We have to do that. So as of now, you don't try this. As of now, just what you have to do is just keep this design and create it inside the same page itself. That means no iframe, nothing we want here. So you just keep the content directly there. If you want, again, you can copy that area and put it so in the same location. Later, when you learn about some technology like JavaScript, jQuery, reusability, designing of web components, then you can try designing such reusable components. We will see that. So I hope up to this everything is clear, right? So we done a sample design of a Netflix page, and here we used completely the knowledge of majority bootstrap, but some height, width and font sizes, so that we need according to our requirement. For that we use general styles. Rest of the option you have to implement. I hope by tomorrow you can do this, along with the footer and in between section also. That means Netflix have the between options like this, na? You try to put them. I don't want any animations there. So you just put a standard picture there, right? Left picture, right picture. Now, how to create such sliding banners, changing banners, that we are going to learn. For that, we are going to use an option called carousels. In Bootstrap, we have an option called carousel. By using carousel, we can create that sliding banners and designing them. That we'll see in our next session. Tomorrow we will do that, right? So today we saw a complete example of a sample page of Netflix. You have to finish that with this footer also, right? You need to design this footer. I hope now you can design this easily, right? Nothing complex. So, and you try to submit that entire code to me into Classroom. This example I will upload. What I done in the class, I will upload. This I will upload. Don't copy and paste this. So you have to design this by your own. You have to design this by your own. And if you can do this, then I will give you some exercises now. Some layout. I will give a website sample that you have to create prototype. With code I will give. I will give the code also, but that is in Bootstrap 4. So you have to convert that into Bootstrap 5 and design the same website. Entire website code I will give you in Bootstrap 4. You have to replicate that in Bootstrap 5 and design. And for that, 2 more components are there. The components we have carousels, navigation bars, that we will discuss in next session. Mostly by tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we will finish Bootstrap. Then we can start into JavaScript now. We can start working and knowing about JavaScript once we finish Bootstrap, right? Tomorrow we'll continue then, right? This example I will upload into Classroom.